Hello everyone and welcome to a very quick but practical video for the true beginners of Jurassic World Evolution. I know the game has been getting a lot of traction lately since it has been offered for free with Xbox Gold, so there are a lot of new players to this game. And one of the comments that I see a lot on my videos, I do a lot of sandbox builds, so a lot of creative park builds, and a recurring question that I see in the comment section is, where are the power lines? How are your dinosaurs not breaking out? That sort of thing. And what I can glean from that, and whenever I respond, I get back the answer, oh, I'm new to this game, I don't know much about Sandbox. So I figured, let's show what Sandbox really is, just really quickly show you the kind of options you have within Sandbox. It's very different from your campaign islands. Every island that is available in the game is also available as a sandbox. But if you have all of the DLCs, you will eventually have all of these maps as well. However, not right away. How sandbox mode works is you unlock the sandbox for a specific map as soon as you hit 4 stars on the corresponding map in your campaign. So right now I've selected Penna. So let's say that you've just arrived on Penna in your campaign. Good luck with that. It's quite a tricky island, but you're not going to be able to access Penna in Sandbox quite yet. You'll see a little padlock symbol right by the name of the island in Sandbox mode. You're going to unlock it as soon as you reach a 4-star rating on your campaign map. And then the island is going to automatically unlock in Sandbox, including all of the research that you would normally do on this island. So all of the dinosaurs, buildings, and features that you unlock, or that you would unlock during your campaign playthrough, you immediately unlock in Sandbox as soon as you hit those 4 stars. I am a Sandbox girl, so this is where I spend most of my time. And we're just going to load into the classic Isla Nublar, and I'm going to show you some of the settings you can play around with. First of all, what I should also discuss is before you load up a map, you can select the era, so either Jurassic World, or if you have returned to Jurassic Park, you can also switch to the Jurassic Park era. Another option you have is you have a standard setting, which means the settings of the island are very similar to campaign. You could switch that to creative, and that means you are fully free in designing your park. So that's what I usually go with. But let's switch back to this one first, and then we can just hit play. So let's do that. That's fine. Usually what I do is for each of the sandbox maps, I go in and I delete all of the trees for the entire map, and I also flatten the entire map. And yes, that is a bit of a chore, but once you've done that, you're just going to save it as your flat Nublar, and that's just going to be your starting point for your next build, so you don't have to do all of this boring work all of the time. Now, to access the sandbox settings, I'm on PC. So on PC, I'm gonna go to Escape, and then we have the Options menu. I'm assuming there's a shortcut for that if you're on Xbox or PS4, but you should know how to access this one. And then we are going to go into Sandbox Settings. So here you see that we have selected Standard, but we can change whatever we want right here. So here we have weather level. We have no weather currently. Of course, there are also, you might be familiar if you've already been to Muerta, Penna, or Sorna, that weather can be a little tricky in Jurassic World Evolution, and you can decide to leave that completely off, so there won't be any issues of dinosaurs getting irritated. But if you like a bit of a challenge or a bit of a natural look, you can switch to rain only. You can switch to light storms, and you can switch to heavy storms. And heavy storms include the twisters that you get on Penna and Sorna. You can also play with the time of day. The standard setting is just day, but you can also go to dusk or night. Night is what we have on Penna. Dusk is what we have on Muerta. And you can also do the day-night cycle, and you can change how fast the the sun sets and rises. So you can actually have a 24-hour cycle, which means that a day takes exactly as long as it would in real life. Next, no failed incubations. You will have come across this issue in campaign that you don't have a dinosaur up to 100% genome. You go to incubate it and it fails. And it sucks because it's expensive to replace, but you know, that's part of the game. It's part of the challenge. Now, no failed incubations is off right now, so that means in this sandbox park, I can run the risk of failed incubations if I play with the genome settings. So if you turn this on, no matter how low the chance of success is, it's going to succeed every single time. Dinosaur disease level, also a familiar problem. Normal disease would be similar to how it is in the campaign mode. You can switch it to high disease, which is comparable to what you might know from Jurassic difficulty in challenge mode. I would not recommend this unless you're a glutton for punishment. And you have no disease, which is my preferred setting. Dinosaurs never get the sniffles. They're always fine. They're always just dandy. Next up is dinosaur lifespan. You have normal, which means that once they reach a certain age, they're just gonna drop dead. I don't like that, so I usually go with unlimited, and that just means literally, as it says, the dinosaurs are gonna live forever, no problem there. You don't need to replace any. Unless, of course, you let them kill each other. But we're getting to that. Next is dinosaur behavior. We have dinosaur escapes. Again, you have normal escapes comparable to the campaign. You have high escapes comparable to Jurassic difficulty in challenge mode. And you have no escapes. Again, this would be my preferred setting. No matter how pissed off your raptors get, they are not going to attack the fences. So that's pretty ideal. Dinosaur social requirements. This is a pretty big one. Some dinosaurs, like the Stegosaurus and the Muttaburrasaurus, have horrible social requirements in the sense that they need 5 and 6, respectively, to be happy. Now, that's not always going to line up with your idea of an ideal exhibit. You might want to get a little bit more creative in your number of dinosaurs. Usually that means not doing so many of the same species. So you might want to just have 3 stegosaurs. So you can just switch that off, and then the dinosaurs are going to be completely fine regardless of how many friends they have. And similarly, dinosaur population requirements like the ankylosaurids and the nodosaurs. An issue with those guys is that they like their alone time. They don't like sharing their exhibit with a lot of different species. And population requirements refers to not necessarily their own species, but other species as well. So social refers to only dinosaurs of the same species. So Stegosaurus needs 5 of the same species. Population means that let's say Ankylosaurus can handle a maximum of 10 dinosaurs in its exhibit. Doesn't matter what kind of dinosaur it is. Next up, dinosaur habitat requirements. This refers to the size of a habitat, but also the proportion of forest to grassland or wetland to grassland for the wetland dinosaurs, the Spinosaurids. Now, this one I also pretty much always turn off, because I like being free in the habitat creation. I don't necessarily want a ton of trees for my Brachiosaurus, so people can't see the Brachiosaurus anymore. Dinosaur combat frequency is next up. There's an important note on the side here. Oh, it disappears when I try to move over. Ooh. Sorry. Dinosaur combat frequency does not just concern the dinosaurs battling each other. As it states, it also affects hunting. So as it says to the right, dinosaurs will not hunt or fight other dinosaurs or live bait. So not only will your T-Rex not attack a Triceratops, it will also not eat a goat. So if you turn that off, The upside of this is that you can mix your carnivores with your herbivores without any bloodshed. The downside of it is that you need to use the standard meat feeders for your carnivores. You can't use the goat feeders because then they'll starve because they won't harm the goat. And you can also turn this to maximum. And what that means is that they basically all just get really pissed off at each other and fight as soon as they make eye contact. Herbivores able to initiate fights, that's exactly what you think it's going to be. With this turned off, this really doesn't have an effect. We have dinosaur vehicle aggression. That is, let me scroll down a second so you can see what's still coming. Dinosaur vehicle aggression is one of the new additions to the game, and it means that the dinosaurs will now actively attack vehicles that come into their enclosure. You know, obviously some dinosaurs are more aggressive towards vehicles than others. One of the main offenders are, of course, the carnivores, but also the stegosaurus is a pain in the ass. So I typically turn this off. What this means is that you're not going to run into any issues when you're driving into an exhibit to refill a feeder. And you can also have any tour just going through an exhibit without issue. The dinosaurs are not going to actively attack the vehicles. They might accidentally bump into a vehicle and still damage it, but they're not going to go after it and come swinging at it with their Thagomizer. Park infrastructure is a really big thing. We have power outage frequency, and again you can choose for normal, comparable to campaign, high, comparable to Jurassic difficulty in challenge mode, and you can have no outages. Moving on, unlimited power. This means if it's turned off, you need power stations and power lines, as you do in the campaign. If you turn it on, you have unlimited power. And the upside of that is that you don't have to waste space on those power stations, and you also don't have those lines going crisscross through your park, which, you know, cleans up the look a lot. Next up, infinite feeders. You can turn that off or on, and when it's turned on, what that means is that you never have to replenish the feeders. They're never gonna run out of food, so you don't have to task yourself with thinking to send your rangers out there to prevent your dinosaurs from starving. So that's good. Over here we have invincible vehicles. As it says to the right, setting this to on will cause vehicles not to take damage from impacts or dinosaur attacks. So you can turn this on, and what that means is that even if they do get bumped by a dinosaur, they're not going to suffer any damage. Also, what's an interesting combination, you can turn on dinosaur vehicle aggression, which means that the dinosaurs will actively attack the vehicles, but with invincible vehicles also turned on, they're not going to take any damage, so they can just get hit over and over and over again without getting destroyed, and that's kind of funny, but not necessarily what you might be going for. One of the last categories is park rating and economy. Cash unlimited is a pretty no-brainer for SANDBOX, but you can also say that you start with 0 cash. Quite challenging. You can set it to low. So, you know, you can make this as easy or as challenging for yourself as you want, and that's kind of interesting. As you can see, when I change this this cash setting, it affects the setting below. If I set it to unlimited, obviously a Hammond Foundation fee is not going to be relevant because you have unlimited money. But as soon as you change it to 0, low, medium, or high, you have the Hammond Foundation fee that is also implemented in challenge mode. And what that means is that the foundation is going to subtract a certain percentage of your earnings, and that's going to go up the more popular your park becomes, and you can set it to cheap, fair, or expensive, or extortionate. Dinosaur variety difficulty, this affects how difficult it is to get 5 stars. You can set it to hard, which means you need more different dinosaur species to get your 5-star dinosaur rating. You can set it to easy, which means you need fewer species to get your dinosaur variety to the max so you can get your 5 stars. Dinosaur rating difficulty, you can set that to normal, hard, easy. Oh, those are the three options. So you have normal, hard, and easy. Easy just means that you have a lower total rating for dinosaurs to hit. So this is where you see, this is the rating that we're talking about. So dinosaur rating target is 2500, so that's the easy one. You only need to accumulate a rating of 2500 to max out your dinosaur rating, and you're only needing 12 species in this example. Going back. So next up we have guest count difficulty. As it says to the right, higher difficulties result in a busier park with more guests to satisfy. So again, you have hard, easy, and normal. And finally, economic difficulty, also normal, hard, and easy, affects the amount of money guests are willing to pay for park tickets, as well as the cost of lawsuit. So obviously, if this is set to hard, guests are not going to be as generous when it comes to spending money in your shops, but their lawyers are going to be blood-sucking lawyers if they ever do get killed. And finally, we have divisions, and we can turn off or on contracts. So, you know, this refers to the contracts that pop up in the bottom right corner of your screen. And, you know, if you enjoy that kind of extra level of gameplay, you can turn them on or you can turn them off. We started with this, but I changed all of the settings to creative. So let's load into that. And then you can see that everything is set automatically to those changes that I had made to standard. So I'm just going to show you that to let you know that you don't have to change those settings every single time you want to play Sandbox. Oh, he's not responding. There you go. Here you go, we're in creative. But as you can see, no failed incubations, no diseases, unlimited lifespan, no escapes, all of these requirements turned off, no outages, unlimited power. These are the settings that I always use, and that's just creative. So that's really easy. All you have to do is check creative and then start your sandbox. I hope that you have a better understanding of what Sandbox is at this point, and I hope you will give it a try and let me know what you think of it and which island you prefer best. Now, if you want to learn more about how you can get the most out of this game, how you build those unique and special parks, I have an entire channel devoted to this game and to sharing my tips, tricks, and ideas with you to inspire you for your own builds. So please hit the subscribe, that would really help me out, and I'd also love to help you out to enjoy this game and to just share my enthusiasm with you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the game.